70 WDAY AM and 93.1 FM, Fargo-Moorhead.
And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. 103 right now, 17 degrees here in the FM Metro. A little bit of light flurries around the area. We're all anticipating some more snow funneling into the area this evening. And there is a winter weather advisory that has been issued up and down the valley, and that will go into effect at 3 o'clock, and it will stretch until noon on Friday. We'll be breaking that down during our show. I'll let you know what it's going to look like. In short, the evening commute will be affected. Your morning commute will be affected. Your Friday evening commute will also be affected, although the worst will come through this evening and tomorrow morning with the heavy snow this evening and then the strong winds tomorrow. But not a lot of snow, just like 1 to 2 inches. Like I said, we'll break down that forecast coming up and during the show. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm, and Dean Wysocki and Bridget Riedel, they dipped out. They're not here. So I got Sarah Lovas with us today. And Sarah, you are an agronomist for GK Tech, correct?
Yes, GK Technology out of Halstead, Minnesota. Thanks for having me here today. I'm super excited to be here.
Hey, we're glad to have you here, and it's going to be a fun show. Lots of fun things that we're going to talk about today, and maybe talk a little bit about what you do, because you were telling me a few stories off air, and I found them very interesting, and I'm sure our audience would find them very interesting, especially those that, aren't involved in agriculture, and just knowing some of the things that go behind the scenes and the science and precision that go into agriculture and farming. I mean, I thought it was super interesting.
Well, thanks. That's great. I literally sit behind a computer all day and just look at agriculture data. But it is actually really interesting. My company that I work for is GK Technology, and we are out of Halstead, Minnesota. We're a homegrown company from this area, and we do precision agriculture. And really what we do is we map out agricultural data, and we turn it into something that farmers can use in a real practical sense. So we write prescriptions, much like you would go to the doctor and get a prescription if you're sick. I write prescriptions for farmers. And so when a fertilizer spreader drives across a field, we can change the rates as it goes across the field, so that if parts of the field needs more fertilizer or parts of the field need less, we can make that happen. And in one pass going across the field, it's pretty neat.
That's super interesting, and I think we're going to have to talk about that, because when you had told me that you write prescriptions for farms, I'm like, well, what kind of prescription are you writing them? And you explained it to me, and I just was like, I had no idea. I was like, that's so cool. So yeah. We'll touch on that when we come back as well. We'll break down that forecast, and our guest today is going to be Tim Mock from Butcher's Edge out of Edgeley. So that'll be a fun conversation to see what they have going on over there, what kind of things they're working on, how their whole process, their operation is going.
Really excited to learn about that. I'm an agronomist. I don't know a lot about livestock, so I'm excited to learn about that. I do like a good steak, though.
Oh, that's one of my favorite things, and one of our favorite things here on Weather and Ag in Focus. It's beef and beer.
Amen to that.
So if you have any questions, you want to join in on our conversation at any point, again, ask us a question, a comment, give us a phone call. We want to hear from you, 701-293-9000, or you can always reach us via email or email at weatherorag@flagfamily.com. And today, if you have an ag question and you are sending it via email, send it to weather@flagfamily.com, because Bridget's not here and we don't have another access to the ag email account. So just send it or call in. Send it to me or call into the studio. But we'll be right back after we get you updated from ABC News, and we'll break down that forecast, and we'll talk a little bit more with Sarah on exactly what it is that she's doing from a local company out of Halstead.
From ABC News, I'm Derek Dennis. A big announcement on Capitol Hill. California Congressman Adam Schiff says he'll run for Senate in 2024 to replace Senator Dianne Feinstein, who has not yet announced if she'll seek re-election. Another member of Congress, Katie Porter, has also announced her plans to run. Others are expected to join the race as well. Aircraft company Boeing back in a Texas federal court over two deadly crashes of 737 MAX jets that killed 346 people in 2018 and 2019. Families of victims claim they were never notified of a deal for Boeing to avoid prosecution. Chicago attorney Robert Clifford says those families are getting their day in court.
This could have happened to anyone. the grief and the sorrow and the depth of loss that's experienced in the U.S. is just the same as someone from Africa and the U.K.
Also today, we're expecting to see the release of police body cam video from the attack on the husband of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Suspect David DePape has pleaded not guilty to assault and attempted murder charges. Paul Pelosi is said to have long-term injuries. A nationwide nursing diploma scheme uncovered in Florida. 25 people under arrest accused of selling nursing credentials.
Dubbed Operation Nightingale, federal officials say they've uncovered 3 nursing schools based in South Florida, which they say allegedly sold more than 7,600 fraudulent diplomas for about $15,000 apiece.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert. President Biden due to give a speech on the economy in Northern Virginia today, just as the Commerce Department announces GDP growth at 2.9% in the latter half of 2022. That's better than economists' expectations.
The president will talk with Virginia union steamfitters and highlight how he thinks his policies have added a record 11 million jobs to the economy during his first 2 years in office. Mr. Biden will also explain Americans will start feeling the effects of many bills passed last year, including new roads and bridges, lower drug pricing, more middle-class jobs.
ABC's Andy Field, you're listening to ABC News.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit Optima Tax Relief.
Do you suffer from stiff, achy, chronic knee pain? Have you been told you have arthritis? Is knee pain keeping you from enjoying your favorite hobbies? If so, the next 60 seconds could change your life. Please listen carefully. If we find you are a candidate for our unique approach, we will do a trial treatment, and day 1 you will know without a doubt if we can help you. Pick up the phone right now and call 701-502-6200. And best of all, we may be able to reduce and even eliminate your knee pain without pills, shots, or surgery. Due to limited capacity, you must call now at 701-502-6200. Hurry. Call now to find out if you qualify for our program that is changing lives and helping people save time, money, and agony. Call now 701-502-6200. You have nothing to lose, so call right now.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 1:11 right now in the afternoon. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm here with Sarah Lovas because Dean and Bridget left me here all alone. And I said, I can't do this show by myself. So Sarah was grateful enough to jump on with us. And
Bridget called me and she said, I have a great idea. Always run away scared when she does that. Just a piece of advice for you for the future, Justin.
That's almost as bad as when you get that text, hey, what are you doing right now? And it's just like, do I want to know what you have in mind? I don't think I do. But why don't we take a look at that forecast real quick, because we're going to see some impactful weather heading into the area this evening and into tonight, and then just straight up windy for tomorrow, and it's just going to be a mess for a little while. I don't think it's going to be anything exceptionally bad, but it's definitely going to impact travel. It will make it quite difficult, and for a few of us, it might be near impossible, and I think there'll be more in northwest Minnesota where they got a little bit more of a fresher snowpack up there, so they'll have more snow to blow around. But what's going on for today, we have a winter weather advisory, which is in effect at 3 o'clock. It'll stretch until noon tomorrow. And this is all in advance of a clipper system that's coming our way. This is going to be rolling in from the west, and we'll see the warm front tracking through about 4 o'clock, give or take, within the valley. And that's going to bring us the lift to bring in some light to moderate snow that will last for a few hours into the evening. It's all going to get mixed in with a southwest wind around 15 to 25 miles an hour, gusting to about 30 at times. And with the snow falling, the little bit of light fluffy snow we have on the ground, the additional snow will pick up. It will provide areas of drifting and blowing snow and reduce visibility. Some of those roads, especially the heavy traffic ones, will start to glaze over since they'll be just a little warmer than the rest of the roads. The rest of the roads will just start to get some compacted snow on them. So the roads will get slippery. As we head through the evening into tonight, we're actually going to see temperatures rising. We're at 17 right now. We'll hit about 22 this afternoon, and we'll peak right around 30 degrees around midnight. So that's going to bring in the chance for a few pockets within the southern valley of a wintry mix, or potentially even just a little bit of light rain between about 11 and maybe 1 a.m. before the Arctic cold front hits on the backside of this Clipper system. And that's going to knock our wind out of the northwest tonight, 20 to 40 miles per hour, gusting as high as 50. And with a slight chance for a few additional light snow showers, it's going to provide more blowing and drifting snow and reduce visibility. So your evening commute, it will be slick. There will be areas of reduced visibility. Friday morning, it will be very slick. A lot of reduced visibility from blowing and drifting snow. Probably some snow drifts on, see if the wind's coming out of the northwest. So you'd have some of your east and west roads, or your northeast to southwest roads. You're going to start to get drifts across them, and it's just going to be a mess. But the good thing is the winds will lighten up throughout the day of Friday, and they'll become around 10 to 20 by Friday evening. So the evening commute, still a little slick, but it will be better than the morning commute. So that's going to be the good news.
So the snowmobiling this year has been like the best that it's been for a number of years. It's been great. So is the snow going to improve the snowmobiling conditions? And not that I want to be picky about my snowmobiling conditions or anything, but I do like it when I've got some powder underneath. And the snow is starting to get a little bit hard out there. So what do you think? Are we going to have any of that opportunity to get some of those prime snowmobiling conditions around here?
A few of us are going to be able to capture some of the snow. We're not going to get a whole lot. It's just going to be 1 to 2 inches with a few localized areas around 3 inches, and that will kind of favor to our west and east. So a little bit out into central North Dakota, especially west of the Devil's Lake Basin, and then into Lakes Country, Minnesota. They'll pick up maybe a little bit more than we will here in the valley. The only bad news is with the amount of wind that we're going to get, once it hits the ground, it's going to go all over the place. And of course, it's going to blow into Minnesota. And we don't really have a whole lot of things to trap the powdery snow except the shelter belts around here. So the snow that blows from the Devil's Lake Basin will settle down around our area, but a lot of it's going to get funneled into the Minnesota area. So they're going to get the best conditions for snowmobiling out of this.
So if I'm understanding correctly, then the recommendation would be to take the snowmobile to the shelter belt and jump the drifts.
That's exactly what I would do.
That's good to know. Good to know.
Have you ever hit a snowdrift, like unexpectedly on the snowmobile?
Yes.
And this will go out to the listeners too. If you got a fun story where you're out snowmobiling and you unexpectedly hit a snowdrift, something happened, give us a call, 701-293-9000. Love to hear those stories. And yeah, I was going out through a farm field one time, and it's just white everywhere. You can't see anything. I'm doing like 45 miles an hour, and I feel like I'm stationary floating in an ocean of snow. And I hit one of those hard drifts, and I end up shooting off the snowdrift about 3 feet in the air, and thankfully just landed right back down. But it was kind of scary when it happened, because I wasn't expecting it at all.
I can honestly say that I have done a Superman before, and it was not intentional, and it didn't end nearly as graceful as what I think you're talking about there.
Oh, great times though with the snowmobiles. Yep. So the good news is, if you don't mind the cold, we have some decent weather in the forecast for snowmobiling. We'll be looking at cold temperatures, but not a whole lot of wind to go along with it. At least over the weekend, we'll hang on to a wind around 10 miles an hour, but high temperatures around 3 below, give or take a little bit. Sunny on Saturday, partly cloudy to partly sunny on Sunday. So not too bad.
No, dress warm and you'll be fine.
That's right. So when we come back, we're going to get our guest on the line with us today. That's going to be Tim Mock from Butcher's Edge Edgeley. And if you'd like to join in the conversation, ask them a question, what they got going on over there, how their operation works. Could I do this? Could I do that? Give us a phone call, 701-293-9000, or you can send those questions to weather@flagfamily.com. And we'll be right back after this with Tim Mock.
No matter what season it is, you want an ice-cold beverage that's not going to slow you down. You want a Mick Ultra or a Mick Ultra Pure Gold. Michelob Ultra is the superior light beer that goes down smooth with only 96 calories and 2.6 carbs. And Michelob Ultra Pure Gold is brewed with organic grains from the finest fields to craft a crisp taste with no artificial flavors or colors. And only 85 calories and 2.5 carbs. You make the winning choice. Mick Ultra or Mick Ultra Pure Gold.
Hey, Chris Berg here. Radio personalities like myself, we spend a ton of time and energy during the day, obviously in front of the computer. We're looking for news stories for you, talking to callers. So when the day is finally over, I get to go home and crawl into my Comfort King excited because I know I'm going to get a great night's sleep. At Comfort King Mattress Factory, they build a mattress just for you. That's what they do. Comfort King has the only lifetime comfort guarantee. So buy local and shop Comfort King Mattress Factory.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
I'm North Dakota Soybean Council Director Rob Rose of Wimbledon. The North Dakota Soybean Council reminds soybean farmers to use soy biodiesel to pump up your bottom line. Biodiesel is a high-quality, clean-burning renewable fuel produced from domestic resources like soybeans. Biodiesel blends up to 20% can be used in any diesel engine. Most importantly, biodiesel increases the value of soybeans by over $1 per bushel. For more information about biodiesel, visit biodiesel.org.
Non-attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-926-1701. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-926-1701. That's 800-926-1701.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 121 this afternoon. Still a few light flurries around the area. 17 degrees, a south wind at 12 miles per hour, producing a wind chill of 4 above zero. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm. I'm here with Sarah Lovas and our guest today. And our guest is Tim Mock from Butcher's Edge Edgeley. And Tim, thanks very much for taking some time out of your busy day to join us. How are you doing?
We're busy. You're right.
I can only imagine that you are. Well, tell me a little bit about Butcher's Edge. What is it? What do you guys do?
Well, we're a new facility. We've been open for maybe 8 months now. Myself and 4 other owners got this place going. We process custom processing for people, and now we are doing state inspected processing as well. And then we also have a retail store up front. So.
Oh, that's great. It sounds like you said, busy. You're staying really busy with all that. How has it been going? Have you guys been seeing just a steady increase in the amount of work you're doing? It sure sounds like it.
Yeah, we it took a little time to start filling our calendar, but it's been getting busy. Our calendar's filling up more every day, and now with us offering state inspection slaughter. We've had a lot more calls of, maybe some guys bringing us quite a few head, and most recently, I think we're going to do some work for the food bank, providing burger for the food bank here in North Dakota. So yeah, a lot of things kind of happening here for us, and we're just trying. We're learning as we go, and it's a lot of work. And but we're doing good so far. So.
Oh, that's great. And you had said something there that I just wanted to. You said state inspected slaughter. What does the state inspected mean? What's the difference between that and maybe say something that's not inspected, or if there is, I'm not sure.
So if you slaughter under custom exempt, that means, either you or someone else, whoever owns that animal, has to take that animal back, to consume. We have to label all of that not for sale. It cannot be resold after it's processed. That's what custom is, and that's what most plants do. So with the state inspection now, we can, let's say a producer wants to retail their own cuts, get their meat back and then maybe sell it by the steak, sell burger. That needs to be done under inspection, which actually we're killing under inspection today. So the inspector needs to, make sure that animal is healthy. They need to be here when we're killing it to check it, check all the organs and stuff inside, make sure it was a healthy animal. And then so that they deem it safe for resale, so the guys can, like I said, sell it cut by cut. So
I see you.
So it's a lot of work to set up a new business like that, and especially in a small town. What inspired you to start this new business?
I was sick of cutting meat in my dairy barn, so we thought we could build a real facility. Well, that's kind of how I got started. I always did our own butchering in, we used to milk cows, and so we were, we knew what hard work was, obviously. And then, when my dad got done milking, I don't know, I always liked butchering. Kind of got started with pigs, and then started, with deer and stuff. And then, when I wanted to start doing our own beef, I realized, we need a lot better equipment. And then, I did get a bandsaw and stuff, but then after, then you get people that find out you're butchering and they want to come bring you stuff. And so then we started looking into, our plant had been closed in Edgeley for maybe, it's probably been like 10 years since the old plant was open. And we started just doing some research, like what if we actually, put up a new facility and one thing led to the next. We did a lot of research before we did, build this. We went through the, feasibility report and everything like that. So, and once things looked good, we just pulled the trigger, and here we are. We're doing it.
Oh, that's awesome. And we were actually talking just before we jumped on with you. I was like, oh, I wonder if he uses a bandsaw or a chainsaw. I got no idea. And it sounds like you used the bandsaw, but what other equipment do you use? I mean, what goes into this?
Oh God, I'll tell you what, you want to spend some money, go look at buying meat processing equipment, commercial equipment. You can spend as much money as you want. Depends how nice a toy you want to play with.
Right.
But you need, with beef and these bigger animals, you need a way to split them and things. So you need a nice, splitting saw, and then, you have to have a bandsaw for breaking down beef and things like that. And then obviously you need a big commercial grinder, and then we did invest in what's called a vacuum stuffer, which allows us to package our hamburger a lot faster than putting it in just like a smaller stuffer. So,
And I think we just lost audio with Tim there. Tim, you back?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you just cut out there for a second.
Sorry.
No worries. You just want to back up a quick sentence on what you were just saying?
Well, I was just kind of saying, like I said, we need, you need the bandsaw when you're doing beef, and I said, we started with a lot of used equipment to start, but hopefully we'll start making a little money and we can upgrade some of that stuff. But yeah, good bandsaw, good grinders, and a good stuffer is what you really need to at least get this stuff cut and wrapped. And then we did buy a new smoker because we like, we make some good sausage down here now, and we make a lot of jerky and stuff. So we have our own recipes down here that I've done for a while, and so we have a nice smoker and things like that. And we have a nice retail store up front. We're right on 281. That was, we actually remodeled the building. It was they used to do airplane kits out here. So we're right on 281, and we just love the spot for, retail and for guys bringing trailers. It's really easy to get into our facility. We actually have a drive-through for you guys to drop off cattle. And we have nice holding pens inside. So it's really slick for anyone. I mean, anyone can drop off cattle here. All you got to do is drive through a double door, and we swing the door open, and your cattle jump off into some pens. And it makes it really easy for them and for us. So that's why we picked this spot to kind of we repurposed an existing building. We didn't build this from the ground up.
I see.
So having access for a lot of our livestock producers to have a place to actually get their meat processed is kind of a big deal, isn't it? It sure seems like a lot of the talk in the agricultural communities has been that we haven't had a lot of good access for our livestock producers to get to processors. So how is that? Can you tell us a little bit about that, or?
Well, we're not going to quit eating beef anytime soon here in North Dakota, so, yes. And guys and people, we got all these, beef producers out here, and, they want to eat their own beef, so you need a place, and it's like I said, you start wanting to process your own beef. You need big equipment, and not these guys, people don't have it, Butchering on the farm was probably a lot more common back in the day, but when it comes to beef, they're big animals. You get beef that hang at 1,000 to 1,200 pounds. I mean, and you need saws to split them. So, and it's just great to, give guys options to market local beef. Keep money here in North Dakota. Keep the beef here in North Dakota. Guys raise unbelievable beef here. So that's kind of what inspired us to build it. We want to provide that option for guys.
So this is kind of a basic question, but maybe some people that aren't involved in agriculture might not know this answer. But what's the difference between a hanging weight of an animal and then like what your finished product actually is?
Okay, so your hanging weight, is obviously once the skin and the head and the hide is all removed in the guts. That's the hanging weight. That percentage from live weight is different on all animals. Beef, a lot of times it's like 62% of the live weight, and then hogs is a higher percentage. And then, off your hanging weight, obviously when you go cut that animal up, you're going to be removing bone and excess fat and things like that. So depending on how your animal's cut, if you leave a lot of bone-in cuts, you're going to have a higher yield because you're going to be weighing that bone. But, it's always anywhere from, 55 to 65% yield, or somewhere in there for what you'll get off hanging weight. It all depends on what cuts you pick and the quality of that animal.
Oh, very, very interesting. Well, Tim, we're going to hit bottom of the hour here real quick, so we're just going to take a short break. But if anyone listening has a question you want to ask us or Tim, maybe you're not familiar with how something works, or maybe you want to know how something particularly works, give us a phone call, 701-293-9000. Again, the studio line, which is displayed on the screen for those of you watching us on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or as well on Acres TV, is 701-293-9000. We'll be right back in about 3 minutes.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right, and when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
Bedtime is rough, even for Peanut. That's why people will try anything to fall asleep. Headstands before bed, even blowing bubbles. But Ashley has a trick that works every time. A new Tempur-Pedic mattress. It adapts to your body's needs to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. You'll wake up feeling refreshed every day. Even Peanut agrees. So ditch the wacky bedtime rituals. Head to Ashley to take home a Tempur-Pedic today.
Ring in the new year with a new ride from Luther Family Buick GMC. We make it simple, offering interest rates as low as 2.9% on all GMC Sierra 1500s. Or experience the new Buick with 3.9% financing on all SUV models for qualified buyers. Plus, no payments for 90 days. Take advantage of these exceptional offers as these rates won't last long at Luther Family Buick GMC. Corner of I-29 and 32nd Avenue South, Fargo. We are professional grade.
Do you suffer from stiff, achy, chronic knee pain? Have you been told you have arthritis? Is knee pain keeping you from enjoying your favorite hobbies? If so, the next 60 seconds could change your life. Please listen carefully. If we find you are a candidate for our unique approach, we will do a trial treatment, and day one you will know without a doubt if we can help you. Pick up the phone right now and call 701-502-6200. And best of all, we may be able to reduce and even eliminate your knee pain without pills, shots, or surgery. Due to limited capacity, you must call now at 701-502-6200. Hurry. Call now to find out if you qualify for our program that is changing lives and helping people save time, money, and agony. Call now 701-502-6200. You have nothing to lose, so call right now.
Hi, I'm news correspondent Bob Woodruff. In 2006, a roadside bomb struck the armored vehicle I was riding in while reporting from Iraq. I sustained a life-threatening traumatic brain injury. The military term, "got your six," means I have your back. And that day, our service members had mine. During my recovery, I learned firsthand the challenges facing our service members who return home with injuries. While serving, their fellow service members always had their six. Now that they're home, it is our turn. We started the Bob Woodruff Foundation to make sure that the camaraderie and support they relied on in the military carries on, and we need you. Please join us as part of the Got Your Six initiative and help us be there for impacted veteran service members and their families. They've had our backs. It's time we have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org. That's gotyoursix.org, using the number 6.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. I am Sarah Lovas here, filling in for Bridget Riedel, along with Justin Storm. And our guest today is Tim Mock from Butcher's Edge. So we're just having a great chat about meat processing. And Tim, what kind of animals do you actually process?
Well, mostly we do beef and pigs, but we have done sheep, and obviously we didn't we just brought deer trim in this year. We didn't bring in whole animal deer because we were pretty new at the time, and then so a little bit of wild game there trim, and then but mostly beef and hogs, and I said we get an occasional sheep in here once in a while.
I see. What about, you said you had just brought the deer trim in this year because you're relatively new. Did you build up enough experience or confidence to maybe consider that for the upcoming, next year's hunt, where people can just drop their deer off and have it processed by you guys? Or how does that look in your opinion?
Yeah, it wasn't that we weren't comfortable with doing it. It was more of we were just getting started, and we were we were focusing on beef. We were trying to get our beef schedule filled, and so we had a pretty good schedule. Our schedule did fill up pretty good for November, so we didn't want to mess around with because usually if you're going to do deer, guys usually probably shut down their beef production for about 6 weeks, and because you're bringing in all these deer, and you're not going to be cross contaminating with you don't want to have beef in there at the same time.
I see.
So we just kind of were like, well, let's focus on beef, and we'll take in deer trim. So if hunters wanted to trim their own animal out. We'll make them sausage and jerky, and that's what we did. So, I mean, we you know, I don't know how many deer we had filtered through here, but it was probably like 40 or 50. You know, it wasn't crazy, but it was enough.
Right.
So, what is your favorite cut of meat, or what is your favorite product that you make?
Well, we like our fry sausage. Our smoked fry sausage has been very popular. It's our recipe, and as far as beef cuts, I mean, I still huge ribeye fan, obviously, like anybody else, you know. So, but you know, there's some cool cuts that we do here that that I've learned over time that we do. You know, we'll do chuck eye steaks for people and Denver steaks and things like fun stuff like that. Once in a while, flat irons. We'll cut flat irons for you if you want, and cool stuff like that. Getting to be more popular, especially on like these. You know, we get because like myself and Jay and Grant Mathern are owners in here too, and they're cattle producers. And you know, I've like probably 12 years ago now, I started dinking around with Wagyu Angus crosses. So we have some Wagyu that we've been selling now for that I've sold privately just for a while. Not a lot, you know. I'm not a huge producer, but I started messing around with that, and I'll tell you what, you get that quality of animal in, you want to keep as many steaks off that thing as you can.
Yes, you definitely do when it comes to something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I had along the same lines of that. You were talking about what your favorite thing was, and you know, some of the more unique cuts that you do. What's been one of the more unique things that somebody has asked for? Maybe like a really unusual thing would be another way of putting it.
There's been, I don't know, there's been all sorts of stuff, you know. You get people that are asking for internal organs that we're not used to really keeping. You know, obviously that some of that gets they have a reason for keeping them. Like, you know, some people ask for their kidneys, and some people ask for pancreas, and it's like, okay, but because usually your main stuff is heart, liver, tongue. You know, for what you're going to keep off something like that. And then people ask for like marrow bones. You know, people like to make those little marrow bone canoes and get fancy and drizzle it on their steaks, which is, I mean, it's great. It's delicious. So, you know, stuff like that. And then tallow, people keep their suet. Actually, we started to keep that ourselves off some inspected beef and make our own beef tallow. And we actually make beef tallow here for sale. It's supposed, people are kind of getting away from these highly processed seed oils. You know, they're kind of not supposed to be very good for you, and they're kind of going back to animal fats, which turning out, they're actually pretty good for you. They're not as bad as the vegetable oil or a canola oil. So I'm serious. And so we make beef tallow and actually have a little bit out front all the time. So you can replace all your cooking oils with beef tallow. It's a high temperature cooking oil, and it's great. It's delicious. It's good.
So where do your customers come? You mentioned that you've got a retail front. So where are all your customers coming in from?
Well, we're still pretty new, so most of it's local, but people are starting to kind of hear about us. So like we'll get people that just pull off 281 there and come in and things like that. And people will come down from Jamestown and things like that, because Jamestown's only about 40 miles north of us. So, but we do get some guys coming down just to come down and check out our stuff. So,
I see. So, how about somebody? Let's say I have a cow. I want to bring it in. I want to have it processed. What does that kind of look like? Do you have different packages, or let's say I want most of this to be hamburger, or I want as many prime rib roasts as I can get off of this? Do you customizable things like that, or are there any like packages where like, oh yeah, you bring in your cow, we'll charge you this much, you'll get 80% hamburger, 20% steak, or something like that?
Well, it's very simple, and if you've never done it before, that's why we walk you through it. But every plant has what's called a cut sheet. Mm-hmm. So you bring your animal in. Here's all the cuts. Here's all the steaks we offer to cut. Here's all the roasts. here's the burger, here's some of the other cuts that, aren't maybe as popular, people don't know about flat skirt steaks and flank steaks and all this stuff. And, yeah, we walk you through that, you fill it out, and then we cut it up how you want. I wish we could just get all prime ribs off the animal. That would be fantastic, but unfortunately, it's
only
not all
so many of those growing.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. We still need hamburger for the hot dishes that are out there too.
Yep.
Good North Dakota hot dish.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, it seems like you're making it pretty easy, user-friendly for someone who just wants to walk in, or maybe they're very, unfamiliar with it. Kind of along the same lines, do you have people that, let's say somebody wants someone who is not involved in ag, like myself, and I've done this before where we split a cow with my parents, and they'll take half, I take half. Do you do things like that in cooperation or in tandem with a producer where they're like, all right, yeah, this guy wants to buy one of my cow, I'm going to send it to you, you'll chop it up and then give it to them. Do you do things like that too?
Yep, absolutely. We get people who will call in that, like you said, just aren't involved or don't really know a beef producer, and they'll ask us, hey, I'm looking for a half of beef, local beef. Do you have one? And then basically, we know enough producers. We'll reach out and try and find that person an animal that's finished, or whatever they're looking for, and then and line that up for them. It's usually not too difficult. We got enough beef, like I said, we have enough beef producers around that are finishing cattle that we can find you a beef.
Great.
So Tim, that's really interesting because it sounds like there's a big push out there to try to have access to local food and really get to know where your food is coming from. And it sounds like you can be almost a person out there for someone to call so that you can really have that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right, what I'm kind of hearing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, anyone can call us, and we have, like I said, we're getting in contact with more and more beef producers. I said, there's plenty of cattle around. It's just, the problem probably has mostly been just, getting enough good butcher shops to get this stuff processed and get it out there. And, and if there's, if you live in the city or something, and like you said, if you're not familiar with it, I'll tell you what, if you find a beef producer that finishes out a beef that the way you like it, you'll never go back. I mean, it's the way to get beef. You always have it on hand. You have burger on hand. You have steaks on hand. You got all this stuff on hand all the time, and you know exactly where it came from. You know you can ask the farmer what it was fed, how it was raised, is it all natural, all this stuff. Oh boy, and lights on here. But anyway, I haven't moved in so long. We have automatic lights here because, obviously our hands are probably always full of something. But anyways, so like I said, if you're unfamiliar with buying beef by the quarter or half, don't be scared to call and ask about it, because it's like I said, we'll walk you through the process the first time. And like I said, if you find people, people like beef different ways. You get, people who might like grass-fed beef, and your conventional corn-fed beef and things like that are all natural. And we have producers that do all the different ways. So
that's great. There's been a real push for local producers getting involved with the school districts around here, bringing in local. Just local into the schools. And now that you are a part of the I just wrote it down here. The state inspection, you can resale that, and you do resale. Do you do any work with the schools or maybe other producers, and they go through you to go to a school system or something like that?
Yep, we've been doing the burger for Edgeley, and then now we've had some other local schools that we've done a little bit of burger for now too as well. So hopefully that continues. And I mean, I've always thought that's just a no-brainer. I mean, we should be feeding our kids. I mean, we're right here. If we can process good local fresh ground beef, we should be feeding it to our kids 100%.
Completely agree with you there, Tim. Well, Tim, again, I want to thank you very much for taking time out of your day, and I can hear all the processing going on in the background, so I know how much work you got going on over there.
I'll tell you what, trying to find a quiet spotting this meat shop was more difficult than I thought. But there is still people working. We're trying to get them out of here because we do have some weather coming in. So they're actually, people are just kind of finishing up, trying to. Of course, we always got to worry about weather here in North Dakota.
Yeah, you got to want to make sure you're safe. Well, for those listening, Tim, where can they go to get more information about you? Maybe they want to place an order or walk through how they can do so. And then after that, where is your location at again for someone who wants to stop by maybe?
There's a lot of ways to get a hold of us. We have a Facebook page, Butcher's Edge. We have a new website, butchersedgellc.com. We are located, like I said, right in Edgeley, just south of Highway 13, right on 281, just heading out of town. We're right on the west side of the road. And or you can call us at 493-MEAT. 6328. So that's our number.
Oh, that is great. Well, Tim, thank you. Have a great rest of your day. And when Weather and Ag in Focus returns, well, I don't know. Maybe we got something to give away there, Sarah.
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, we will. Stay tuned.
Do you love working on cars but don't love your current job? If so, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Forward Auto Care. We're a family-owned full-service auto repair shop looking to hire skilled automotive technicians. With our state-of-the-art shops, great work environment with competitive pay and benefits, you'll enjoy a great job with a bigger purpose and a lot of opportunity for advancement. Visit FixItForwardAutoCare.com to apply. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
Most of us take our independence for granted, living, working, shopping, dining out. Without the support services that Red River Human Services provides for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, those everyday tasks would be unattainable. Your donation on Giving Hearts Day creates independence and brings joy and dignity beyond measure to the people Red River Human Services supports. Please consider a gift February 9th. Visit givingheartsday.org and search Red River Human Services.
Hi, I'm Jerry with the Jail Chaplains. My friend Rod says, Jail Chaplains gave me a vision of what the road forward looks like. I was so broken. That one voice saying, you can do it, you're loved, it made the world of difference for me. I needed Jail Chaplains to embrace me and remind me I am worthy. You can be part of helping men and women find the road to freedom. Pre-schedule a gift now to Jail Chaplains at givingheartsday.org.
It's Friday night date night. Can we go to Three Lions Pub?
Yeah. We can get the date night special. 2 meals and the 2 glasses of wine for, is it $30?
Or Mama can get a whole bottle of wine for just $35. They also have Leinenkugel's Toasted Ale new on tap at Three Lions Pub.
Monday and Thursday are trivia nights with late night trivia on Wednesday and Blackout Bingo the last Tuesday of the month. First responders, military, and seniors get a 15% discount.
Friends, food, and fun at Three Lions Pub on 13th Avenue in West Fargo.
Grain markets finish higher with mixed action in livestock. On Thursday, you're listening to the American Ag Network of Jesse Allen with this closing market update. Well, soybeans and wheat were the upside leaders on the market trading day Thursday, as we saw plenty of positive money flow, fairly robust weekly export sales reported on Thursday morning as well, all combining to support the grain and oilseed markets. A few other news items out in the trade as well, including news out of the Black Sea region. More Russian missile strikes on Ukraine on the day Thursday, according to Reuters, killing at least 11 people and hitting a lot of major infrastructure, it appears, as well. So that, combined with reports from USDA saying that they don't believe Russia's wheat crop estimate is feasible. Their over 100 million metric ton wheat crop estimate is not one that they believe is feasible, and that could all be combining to give us some of the strength we saw in the wheat market on the day on Thursday. Plus plenty of short positions by fund managers in wheat as well. Have to take that into consideration. But overall, positive day in the grain trade. Livestock trade relatively mixed. Hogs found some buying support around mid-session and held that throughout the rest of the trade. Let's take a look at final numbers. Corn for March up 7 3/4, 682.5. July quarter up 4 3/4, 688. March beans up 21, 1523.5. July up 16 1/4, 1504.5. Feed meal for March up 11.60 a ton, 477.10. March bean oil up 25 points, 60.79. March Chicago wheat up 11 1/4, 752 1/2. March KC wheat up 21 1/2, 864 3/4. Spring wheat March up 5 1/4, 914 3/4. February live cattle down 87, 156.72. April down 102, 160.52. January feeder cattle up 17, 179.57. February hogs up 22, 77.02. April up 167 at 87 even. This is the American Ag Network.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 152. Looking at a winter weather advisory in effect at 3 o'clock until noon on Friday. We'll see light to moderate snow this evening, which will become some scattered snow throughout tonight, but it's just going to turn windy after midnight. Wind gusting over 40 to possibly 50 miles an hour into your Friday morning, which is going to provide enough for blowing and drifting snow, and we'll see some blowing and drifting snow this evening. So some reduced visibility and slick roads are what should be anticipated with 1 to 2 inches of snow throughout this evening. We'll touch, if we have time, on that forecast a little later, or at 2:06 when I'm on with the Jay Thomas Show right after Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm, and Dean and Bridget left me here alone, so we got Sarah Lovas in here with us today. And
So,
Sarah,
Justin, I have to ask you a weather question.
you were going to, yes.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, when you're talking about this winter weather advisory that we have, is this going to be like an UFTA, or is it going to be the greater UFTA meta? How bad is this weather event going to be?
You know, when you're driving through it, you're probably going to go under your breath, oofta. It's not going to be terrible, but it's not going to be fun. So if you can remember back to Tuesday evening, we had some snow showers that came through the area, and that posed a bit of a mess. The roads got slick, some snow-packed roads, a little bit of drifting. That's what this evening is going to be, except we're just going to add a little bit of extra snow on top of that. I think we got about a half inch. We'll see 1 to 2 out of this. So it'll be a little worse than what it was on Friday, but something similar to that is what you should expect this evening. Friday morning, not so much for snow totals, just more blowing and drifting snow than falling snow for Friday morning.
So maybe just an UFTA, not a full UFTA meta.
No.
Okay.
Just a couple of ooftuffs and maybe a couple of other choice words when you're swerving around. But, we should give something away here today.
That sounds great. This is my first time on a guest hosting. I've never given away anything on the radio before. How do we do this?
Well, I'm just going to tell people. Well, actually, I don't even have to tell people because we've done this enough. And if I just... Jacob, is the computer ready to go? If I just push this button, people will start calling into the show.
Amazing.
Hey, you scratched my anchor.
Yeah, you scratched my anchor that I just picked up at the boat show that's going on this weekend. So we're going to give away some tickets to the boat show. I got one pair up for grabs right now, and look at that. I'm already sitting on about 164 phone calls right now. Pick a number between 1 and 7.
4.
Number 4. So let's go here. And hello, you're caller number 1. I'm sorry. Try again. I'll put them on hold. There we go. We dropped them. Hello. Welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. You're caller number 2. I'm sorry. Caller number 3. I'm sorry. You were so close. Hello. Who's this?
This is Dave.
Dave. You're on Weather and Ag in Focus. You just won yourself a pair of tickets to the boat show.
Perfect. Love it.
Yeah. You ever been before?
Yes, I have. I'm going to go again, though. This is perfect.
Oh, that's great. The last time did you go? Did it cost you $35,000 like the last person that went?
I got a deal. I got us for $25,000, though.
Hey, look at that. That is a deal. Well, Dave, do you listen to Weather and Ag Focus often?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Can I ask what you like?
I really enjoyed the Butcher Edge. That was pretty unique.
That was a really fun conversation. Can I ask what you like about Weather and Ag in Focus?
Oh, well, I'll find out what's going on. Got to know what's going on with the weather.
Hey, there you go. Well, Dave, we appreciate you listening, and thanks for calling in. Stay on the line. We'll get some information from our producer, Jacob, on how you can claim those tickets, all right?
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. That was fun.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So, Sarah, you were telling me for the company that you work with, that you do a lot of work with data, mapping, satellite imaging.
Yeah.
How is satellite imaging and agriculture related? What do you do with that?
So there's actually a lot of satellite imagery that's available that gets taken of our fields multiple times throughout the year. And what we can do is we can actually use that imagery to figure out how green and how dense that green plant canopy is. And from that, we can kind of determine on a relative basis how healthy the crop is. So when our human eyes see green, the plant material is actually absorbing red light. And so when I take when I work with a piece of satellite imagery, I'm really trying to figure out how much red light has been absorbed by that plant canopy, and from that information, I can figure out how healthy the crop is and where the field might be similar or different and how it's producing the crop.
That's really interesting. And for those that maybe don't know, when you say the plant is absorbing red light, we're referring to the spectrum in the light. You know, the white light we get from the sun, well, you shine it through a prism, you get a rainbow, and those are the different colors that are being absorbed, and the color that's reflected away that it doesn't absorb is the green light of the white light that comes from the sun.
Correct. So, you know, theoretically, the more chlorophyll that plant has, the more red light that it's going to be able to use. Generally, the more that plant is photosynthesizing, the more that it's got that chlorophyll, the healthier the plant is. And there's lots of reasons why we might not have, or the chlorophyll content might be less, or we have yellower plants out there. Anything from nutrient deficiencies, drought. I've used that for so many different things to help farmers solve agronomic issues out in the field.
Right. So let's say you're looking at the canopy, you go out, you do what you do, and you determine that these aren't as healthy plants. There's something wrong with these things. You write them a doctor prescription. What does that look like? You write a prescription for the field or the plant, or are you giving it to the farmer?
Well, always give it to the farmer, right? Because they're the ones that are actually going to apply it. But what I do is I take a look at the satellite imagery and I figure out where the plant canopy is similar or different. So if you've got areas of the field that maybe are producing more green areas or less, and once I have that determined, then I can write a variable rate prescription, which is simply applying different rates of products. Oftentimes fertilizer, could be seed. And so then the farmer or the fertilizer applicator, when they're driving across the field, they should just be able to make one pass going across the field and then changing the rates as they go so that they're not over applying in places that don't need it, and so that they are basically being more efficient with their fertilizer use. It's great, to be honest with you. It's economically friendly to the farmer and also environmentally friendly.
That is super interesting. Well, Sarah, I want to thank you personally for jumping on here with me. I wish we'll get you on again, because you've been on the show. I think we interviewed you not too long ago. Get you on again, talk more about what you do, and be very fascinating. But that'll do it for us here on Weather and Ag in Focus. Congratulations, Mike, on winning your boat show tickets. The Jay Thomas Show is coming up next with another look at the full forecast.
970 WDAY AM and 93.1 FM, Fargo-Moorhead.